Hey guys, and welcome to Scholamania Readers and Writers Club. Yay, SRWC. That's a mouthful, right? SRWC. So one of the slug lines of Scholamania Readers and Writers Club is today I'm a reader, tomorrow I'm a leader. Today I'm a reader, tomorrow I'm a leader. I'm sure you're wondering, what's happening? This is YV's publications. Yes, and SRWC is an organization that actually started in the year 2016. I said 2016. I'm talking about 7 years ago. And I'm telling you that we went into schools across Ogun State and Lagos State in Nigeria. We went to about 300 to 400 schools talking about reading, the reading culture. And the kids were ecstatic. I mean, it was such a wonderful time. Today on the show, we're going to be doing several things. Number one, this is the official launch of the Medium publication, SRWC Scholamania. So in the house, we have the associate editor, Amaka is here. And we also have co-founder of SRWC, my co-founder also, coming later. But Amaka is here. So Amaka, you are welcome. And thank God that you have a beautiful voice. So today I'm a reader. Come on. Tomorrow I'm a leader.
Tomorrow I'm a leader. Today I'm a reader. Tomorrow I'm a leader. I'm reading for love. I'm reading for her. I'm reading to make a change.
So much to expect, and it's so exciting being on SRWC. So today we're going to be talking about the publication. So Scholamania Readers and Writers Club is that space where kids in schools, yes, it's Nigeria now, but we are really, really praying that this is going to spread across Africa. Kids in African schools reading values, reading things that will make them become leaders. And today we are speaking to parents, we are speaking to teachers, owners of schools, and we are talking about the importance of reading. Now, I know Amaka, you work with young people. Amaka also does humanitarian work where she actually goes out and reaches out to kids that can't get education, and she goes out and teaches. So question is, what is the importance of kids reading? Let's talk about this. Why do we need to do this? Is it something that we need to do? Is it something we need to do? Kids need to read in Africa.
Okay. So I realized that growing up, I had a lot of books. I read a lot of educating books, and I realized that the books opened my mind to so much possibilities. And unfortunately, Africa is really going through a lot right now. So books actually would help children see beyond their environment, to help them see the world outside and imagine themselves beyond where they are. I have a friend that has this foundation. She went to this Makoko. I don't know if anybody has gone there before. It's where they build houses on water, and most of them live with trash. With trash, like basically, it's a normal lifestyle for them. And I imagine children like that having access to books and seeing other children and how well they perform outside. So I think books will actually help them open their minds to um, seeing possibilities outside where they are. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Every time I open anytime I turn I read the newspaper, I always get chills. Either we're talking about Yahoo, we're talking about baby mamas, we're talking about ritual killings amongst teenagers. I'm talking about young people that should be in school. We're talking about all manners and shades of crime. Talking about hookup. I'm like, seriously? So the question is, what one thing I've always known is solution can come through books. And I remember when we were taking this campaign of reading into schools, we're not just taking the campaign into schools, we're taking a strong topic like irregular migration. When you we loaded the book with irregular migration and took it to schools, and solutions can be packaged for schools. So without much ado, I'm going to be bringing on our next guest to join in this conversation, this beautiful conversation that I am superly passionate about. This is my co-founder. We are the ones that went, he was like co-founder, and he was also the head coach. I mean, the one that was going out there when he, let me just tell you a little bit about this our head coach and co-founder.
Is
When
it
he gets into schools.
should I come in now, or should I go back and come back so we can do a drum roll before I show up?
Oh, okay, no, okay. I thought that the drum has already rolled. Oh yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
that's
Boom.
yes, I can.
So when he
I can disappear.
when when
Going
he
to be
gets into
oh my
schools, you see
god.
the kids screaming, and I remember it wasn't just one principal or one head teacher or several had to ask, what do you tell these kids? What are you telling them that is making them scream? As in, because they will say children don't like to read. You are bringing we don't know that you, and somehow he got their attention.
I
So
remember,
over
I
to
remember,
you,
I
super
remember
coach.
I remember some principals saying that. I mean, that was usually one of the things that you hear when you hear, I want to help children to begin to read. I want to do something. I want to publish a book. You just hear people just tell you, a book in Nigeria. If Nigerians don't read, Africans don't read. We don't like reading books, and you're wondering, so how do we progress? How do we acquire more skill? How do we acquire more knowledge if we don't read? It doesn't matter what level you are. The day you stop reading is the day you start dying. You just wonder that the information you have is obsolete.
Hmm.
The current information, current
Mhm.
trend, it's all written. It's written. And I'm not saying about you just reading a hard copy book. It could be e-copy books, as long as it's a book, because it has to do with information. Every book is a product of the author's imagination, thoughts, process, research, engagement, life experiences. It's a loading. So where the author is not even able to go, the books go that far. And that's why it is, look at most of the textbooks we're reading in schools today. Was published that
Yeah.
a lot of all those authors are all gone. I mean, look at the mathematics textbook you're reading in school. The authors are gone, but their works remain. The knowledge
Yeah.
is fundamental. And that's one of the things that we try to do. I remember going to some schools, and of course we know, it's it's a known fact. People don't really like reading like that. So you have to present the act of reading in a very engaging and exciting and interactive way. You sing song. I remember that Amaka sang the song so beautifully. In fact, it's been a long time, but I can never forget the song. Today I'm a reader. Tomorrow I'm a
Mother,
leader.
I'm
Yeah.
a leader.
Today I'm a
Today
reader.
I'm a leader.
Tomorrow I'm a
Mother,
leader.
I'm
Yeah.
a leader.
Reading for
I'm
life.
reading
I could
for
just be jumping
life.
on chairs, jumping on tables, singing the song, and you just see the whole school erupting. Principal is coming. I wonder what is going on in my school. Say, hey, this man is here to talk about the reading culture. And if we can present the act of reading to be so engaging, so interactive, so loving, so warm, so educative, so engaging, of course, everybody would love to start reading. And don't forget the book, like Yvonne said, the book we used was Chasing the Mirage by Osita Osemen and Yvonne Awusa and Ifajo, who wrote the book together about irregular migration and human trafficking. It was profound because I took that book and I brought it out, narrating the story, reading part of it. Some of the students came to read it. It was always encompassing. I think that the more of this that we can introduce into everyday life, of course, starting leveraging on the fact of being able to Scholaminia's concept, bring people's story, true life stories, African stories, African
Hmm.
success stories. There's so many that
Yeah.
are not being preserved, and we're losing
Yeah.
them for time. If we can just bring them
Yeah.
all into books and introduce them
Yeah.
into schools, get our children to begin to read. Look at, for instance, oh my goodness, it's just outstanding. We're talking about something we're trying to do. One of the big IT companies in Nigeria that has evolved. It started from some young boys who are trying to do something. It has evolved into something mega. There's so many. Like, how many of those stories do the current
Yeah.
teenagers have access to?
And
Nothing.
you know,
You know?
sorry to jump in, sorry to
Yes.
butt in, Yemi, into this, but I just needed to bring that in. Now we're talking about a time when it seems, as in Yahoo is trending. It's the order of the day. It's so serious that there's an association for Yahoo Boys Mother. There's actually an official association for them. It's
Wow.
trending. It's there.
Wow.
Wow.
Sometimes what young people need to understand is it's what they know. I don't know how to explain it. It's
Mm.
popular because that's what they know. That's the story that they
That's
know.
what's
But
trending. Yes.
Yahoo, there are people who are actually in the same IT space. That's speaking about the story, which one of the stories that we are going to be looking at telling. People in
Mm.
the IT space that have done amazing things. So, and
Amazing.
are
Amazing
doing
stuff.
things
Yes.
that they are in Silicon Valley in the US. I mean, they are They are breaking trends. They are doing different things. So you don't just have, it's not only being Yahoo. So people just seem to think that Yahoo is the only way.
Because
And
that's
also,
the thing
yeah,
is, like they say I don't know how to phrase it exactly, just skip my mind right now. Bad news travels fast or something like that.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
if you
Brilliantly
if,
phrased.
if you preserve the ideal information today, now we can talk about the Mark Zuckerbergs, because stuffs have been written about them, books have been done about them, movies have been
Movies.
done about them.
Mm-hmm.
They are trending, they're there. We talk about the Spotify's of this world, talk about it. There's so many, but how many of them are African-based stories? It's as if Africans are
Yeah.
not creating anything. It's like we're
And
not
we
doing
have,
IT,
I
and
mean,
we're
That's the
doing
lie.
great
Yeah.
stuff in IT.
We're written a
In
lot.
look at
Oma
for
Tech. You know Oma Tech?
exactly.
Oma
Almost
Tech,
look,
first
look at the lady.
indigenous company built,
Exactly.
creating
There's
computers.
so
And
many of
I
them.
think she passed. Okay, she passed. And guess what? I won't be
Wow.
surprised if I ask Amaka, do you know her? Have you heard of her? For example.
No,
See, and this is Amaka that her head is screwed on tightly. Now imagine a lot of all those younger people that don't even have time
Who are not
for
even there at
so
all.
many
Exactly.
things. They have
There's
no
so many,
idea
so
of the
many.
great things she did.
I think this is a very great move. Like what is intended, and I believe strongly that if it can, which is the idea really, push to create that momentum that it requires. It has to be in the face of people. It has to be the hearts of people. Parents cannot stop their children from engaging in reading of books. You can, if you're not doing it before now, you're missing out. So you need to start doing it. Thank God for the program that's coming. I heard you talking about something you're putting together. I think all those things are
Yeah,
going to be able to help
yeah.
to
Writing
help parents.
classes,
Yes,
reading
help parents to
clubs
begin
this
to.
summer.
Yes, it's. I think it's brilliant. I think, but I'm so super excited. Scholamania, man, my heart is there any day, any tree you need me to jump up and come down from. Yeah, Wakanda trees. Yeah,
Hey, our head coach. So great.
Okay,
So we
sorry,
are
but
going
you
to
need
be
me to
putting.
jump up,
I,
jump down, somersault,
I have a
something.
Oh,
question.
Amaka, you have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Okay, so there's this story I heard of a woman that actually, like, I don't think she's educated, but she has a son. She willingly gathered the money she made from her trade and bought a laptop for him and took him,
Wow.
because the guy was learning how to repair generators. So she took him out of that and uh, put him. She said, okay, she wanted him to learn Yahoo.
And she set him up
So
in the
I don't
Yahoo
know
way.
how exactly.
She set him up.
Yeah, she bought a laptop for him. In fact, I know the generator man because he came to repair her generator. So he was telling us the story. So in situations like that, how do we reach uneducated parents? Because they're actually seeing the fruits, if you want to put it like that, fruits of Yahoo, Yahoo, the sleeping around and whatever. They are seeing the old fruit. So how do you actually educate these people on the dangers of this thing? Because all they see is money.
Me, 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 me,
Me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me.
me. Okay, you go first. You go first. You go first.
Okay, okay. So this is the thing, yeah. Like I mean, you said it clearly. The trend is what she ran with. She's just a mother
Yeah,
that wanted to change the status of her child, and the trend is what she ran with. So it's left for us, who are publishers, who are people that are NGOs, who have a heart for this, to go out there and bring stories of people who are doing great stuff. The alternative story, like somebody said, I mean, somebody that is hungry, the bad food will become food, man. I mean,
Yep.
the idea is feed me
yeah,
up, feed me. Yo, so the what is trending is the bad part. So why don't we have an exchange of that reality of that story and bring in the real meat, the real deal? Stories of great people, stories of Nigerians who have moved through the hurdle and have succeeded, stories of guys who have their heads screwed right and are doing great stuff. Let's let the narration be different. Let's challenge the narration
Hmm.
such a person is receiving. And I'm sure by the time she wants to do it again, you tell her son, okay, don't stop doing that bad things. Be like this other guy. And then it will be like that. Because the trend is what is the trend. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to change the narration. That's my
yeah,
submission.
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah.
Just to add to what he said. I mean, the reason why she's doing that is because that's what she has seen. It's visible. That's what everybody's seeing. Just like you said, it's trending. So, but the question to ask is, are you saying that we don't have people that are walking the right path, the straight and narrow? They are there everywhere. I'm telling you. they are there, but those stories are not being shared. So
I
what
have
we are,
examples. Yeah.
yeah. So what we are committing to do in SRWC is to look for those stories and tell those stories. I remember that I think it was the year 2020
Okay.
that we had planned to do 2020 stories. You remember?
Yeah,
When we
yeah,
actually
yeah.
planned to 20, we're
2020,
going to look for
20 stories in 2020.
2020 stories. And what inspired this? Because I remember there was somebody that we're working with at the time, a young intern that was working with us. And I remember then I asked her if she knew who Dora. I think I was talking about Dora Kinwuli, and she didn't know who Dora Kinwuli was. And Dora Kinwuli
Oh,
had just passed in like maybe in I think it was about a year. I was so heartbroken. I said, if you don't know who
oh,
Dora Kinwuli is, then what's going to happen? But now let's take this narrative to the Western world. Is there any kid that doesn't know who Abraham Lincoln is? Even though Abraham Lincoln lived how many years ago? You know, everybody, they all know
yeah,
who
that's true. Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln is. They know all their great heroes. Why? Because they put them in their books, they put them in their movies, and it's not just one movie.
Mm,
They make movies upon movies upon movies, as in the same story. They'll tell it from so many angles. So
yeah.
we need to have,
Even if the movie is not
yeah,
about that person, yeah, they will do.
yes. So yes. So that's why
Yeah.
in SRWC, the kind of stories that we tell are stories that about real issues. Like when we're taking the story of chasing a mirage, the guy's real story. We're looking forward to doing this other one that Pastor Ryan spoke about. There's this other partnership we're also looking at, working with another online. I think they are into what do you call it? Into tech, telling tech stories of women in technology you know. And when I was speaking to the founder, she was calling the women. I didn't even know who these women were, but the women are doing amazing things. So there are so many beautiful stories to share, a lot of stories. So if we find those stories and we tell those stories, and that now becomes the trend, see, Amaka, that's the only way. That's how the question to ask is, how did we
Okay.
get here? So if we go backwards, how did we get to this spot where Yahoo became celebrated? Once upon a time, it's the same Nigeria that you will leave your money on the road and you come back the following day and you will meet it there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what happened? What happened was all of a sudden, this kind of behavior it started trending. Social media happened. So things that I would do in my house and only me would see, but everybody started saying that I was getting away with it. And it became a trend. And
Yes,
it just blew
yes,
out. So the only way to fight this is we need to replace, like what YM said, it has to be a substitution thing. So we need to be the light that will shine in the dark. So much to say, guys. We have
yes,
overshot time. I mean, and it feels like we haven't even scratched the surface. I mean, there's going to be so much to talk about. On this space, we're going to be bringing Amaka and the editors and every other person working behind the scenes on the Scholamania publication and all the other things we do. We're also going to be bringing teachers. We're going to be bringing parents. We're going to be bringing owners of schools. We'll be speaking about things that can help us to move this discussion forward. How do we get this? And it's not just something for us to do. I mean, we are just one little light. So we need to spread, it needs to go everywhere. The nooks and crannies of our country, Nigeria, it needs to go into Africa. We have so much to tell, so many beautiful stories. Our solutions are within. They are not outside this country. No, the solutions we are looking for, they are here with us, with our elders. Look at those elders and find out what they did. They are here. So we just need to tell those stories and bring them out. So thank you very much to everybody that's joined us here on this platform. We really look forward to having you, be part of us. SRWC is live on Medium, so you can go and check it out. The link is in the description box. And every Wednesday, we're going to be bringing you a new story, something to focus on, a new article, something to read, so you can get that reading. So if you're any young person, I mean, please, that's the kind of stuff that they should read. And then for those of you, maybe parents that are thinking, okay, how can I occupy my kids this holiday? I like some of the stuff you guys spoke about. I want my children to learn something. I want them to read, and I also want them to, learn something that would help them positively. Then please also check out what we are going to put in our description box, everything that has to do with the upcoming trainings, the upcoming reading clubs, the upcoming book clubs that will be happening this summer. So thank you very much. From me, it has been a wonderful time. And from the rest of our guests, we'll say bye to everyone. See you next time. Thank you.